Shalom everybody, Rabbi Eric Solomon, Raleigh, North Carolina. Usually I do early morning Torah, but I have a really crazy day tomorrow before Shabbat, and I want to get a little Torah in. I'll keep it brief. Parashat Noach. It's the amazing second Torah portion of the year, and most people know it, even kids, about the flood, about Noah told to go onto the ark, bring 2 of every animal. He brings his family, an extended family. They go on the ark for many days, etc. I'm going to focus on the end piece. So he has the flood, he's in the waters. First sends out a raven. Raven goes out and basically, never returns, I believe. It doesn't work out. He gets no information from that. He's trying to decide, is it over? Then he takes a dove. Sends it out to dove. The dove comes back. He says, okay, if it comes back, with nothing, it's still the flood. Sends out the dove again. That time the dove comes back with an olive branch. So he says, the flood is receding. Must be that the trees are high enough up of an olive tree. An olive tree is actually not that high relatively. Send the dove one last time, the dove doesn't come back. So in the end, he sends out a raven once and the dove 3 times. And what the rabbis teach us all the time is that if the Torah could teach us something quickly and to the point, it will. So why would Noah be required to send out, first of all, a raven, then 3 times with the dove? It would have been enough just to say the dove went. What's all this added pieces? Now we know the olive branch represents peace. But I want to just basically say, Noah was reading the tea leaves. Noah was a good business person. He looked out and said, look, the waters will eventually recede, and I want to be right there ready when the flood is completely done, when the water is done. And so he anticipates that and sends out the birds. Now, the first few times, it's unsuccessful. But he doesn't give up. He waits 7 days, and he tries again. Up to eventually 4 times. What does this teach us? We're in a moment of flood right now, too. Many of us are huddled down if we have the privilege in our own arks, whether that's with our families, our houses, or, we're finding ways to hunker down still in this pandemic. Those of us that are smart are already anticipating, when that pandemic will come to an end. Now you'll say, well, I don't know when it will, and no one does. Of course, no one does. I don't know either. But you test the waters, and you try new things. There's a lot you learn while being on the ark during the flood, but there's a lot you prepare for when it's going to be over. I'm no business person. I'm just a shul guy, synagogue person. But I recognize that when the flood is over, there's going to be pandemic's over, there's going to be a strong desire to come back to shul, but only if, for example, we offer compelling programs that can bring people out. At this point, we know that the technology piece is so convenient that a lot of people are going to stick with that too. There's a future here with multi-access. We have to be ready for that. Not wait until it's over. We have to be preparing now for that. That's just a synagogue example. They're the same in business life and other experiences. So what am I saying? Many times you have to test, you have to try, you have to have an R&D, you have to use your imagination, creativity. You have to try, and you're going to fail. But persistence, pushing, eventually, if you push early and you don't succeed, good for you. Just like Noah, he didn't succeed at first. But eventually, he did, and he was the first one ready to get off the ark when it was time. And that's what I want us to learn from this Torah portion, is that it's not just about the flood and about the destruction of the world. It's also about Noah's determination to get off the ark and to get back into the world as soon as possible. In some ways, maybe quicker than anybody else might imagine. That's the wisdom of Noah sending out the birds unsuccessfully, but not letting it deter him, and doing it a 4th time as well, eventually getting off the boat back onto land. May we all, please God, get back onto land soon. But when we use our creativity and entrepreneurial ambition, kind of innovative thinking, and test it out. And don't give up if it only fails once. Noah did it 4 times. All right, Shabbat Shalom.